Call city council meeting for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. To order, could I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Dodson.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Wilkie.
Here.
McCann.
Here.
Stenby.
Here.
Boss.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
And Mayor Jessup.
Here.
We have all seven of the council and the mayor present.
Thank you. Everyone please rise as Councilmember Burbank leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to homecoming week in Owatonna. Always an exciting time. First up tonight is the council agenda. I would look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Brent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We now go to Mayor Jessup, and Mr. Mayor, you've got some proclamations tonight. Good evening.
I do, as a matter of fact. Thank you, Council President Rainey. I have got three proclamations tonight, two of them having to do with the military. This past weekend, had the opportunity to attend the Hunter Alexander Frank Memorial Foundation fundraiser in honor of a local serviceman who lost his life in 2020. And then the second one having to do with the Quilt of Valor Foundation, and September 11th being 2025 Quilt of Valor Day. Third one, proclaiming September 30th through October 4th, Owatonna Foundation Week, a great group that works to support capital projects throughout Owatonna.
Thank you. Anything else for us this evening?
And that's it for tonight, thank you.
Okay. We're now up to consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of city council meeting minutes, other board commission minutes, licenses, permits, and miscellaneous items all grouped together for the council to review prior to the meeting and vote on collectively. With that, I will entertain a motion on these consent agenda items.
I would like. Sorry?
Actually, Chief Hoffman just told me that he needs to change that fire permit one, the event permit for fire hall. The time of that, he just wanted to make sure that that was.
The event permit under agenda 2.4.3 for our fire department open house. We're having it the same day, October 5th, just the time has changed. Instead of 10 a.m., we're starting at noon, so
Okay.
minor change to that permit.
And that's noted, Jeanette. Thank you, Chief. So I would be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Dave to approve. Do I have a second?
Was there an issue with the fence that, we've got some streets closing, right?
We got a motion. We need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Doug. Any discussion?
So I am going to suggest that we know Ed's change to that, as well as, there's some concerns about the parking on the road closures, with like 2.4.2. So I would actually recommend that we pull that from the consent agenda item and discuss that afterwards. Okay, if you'd be willing to make that motion, for the consent without moving item 2.4.2.
Okay, motion to approve consent agenda with the exception of 2.4.2.
So we have a motion to approve the consent agenda without 2.4.2. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dan. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
When does the further discussion take place now?
We vote on these.
Okay, very good.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will now discuss 2.4.2.
So some questions have come up just regarding the length of time for road closures and the necessity of having the entirety of that area closed for that whole time. So I think we'd like to have a discussion about the potential of having some of those streets be open part of that day. So with that being said, this might be worth taking until we get further information.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to table.
Motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dan. If there is no discussion on a tabled item, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that has been tabled. First up tonight is the finance report in the action items, and with that, I go to Vice President Doug Voss. Good evening.
Thank you, President Rainey. I will review the checks over $20,000 for your approval tonight, and they are as follows. $28,372 to Ave Fuel Corp for airport fuel, $22,305 for Central Farm Services for fleet fuel, $61,745 EPA audio visual equipment at the Gainey Room in the library, $30,039 to Equity Builders Construction, pay estimate number 3 out at the airport, $24,468 from the ground up for storm damage tree removal, $38,440 cable equipment replacement check for a flex swing rotary cutter at the airport, $207,306 to Pearson Brothers for the street maintenance pay estimate number 1 final, $23,124 to Steve James Excavating Incorporated for sanitary sewer services, replacing the curb, screening dirt, and repairing a manhole, $236,748 to Hewlett Brothers for the 18th Street Southeast Trail pay estimate number 3, $35,606 to Wenzel Construction, street and utility work pay estimate number 4, other expenditures $214,872, total expenditures presented for your approval $923,000, $923,028.92. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the finance report? Yes.
Chief Hoffman, are we able to recover any of that cost from FEMA on the tree removal?
So it's actually didn't raise to the national level, but the state level has. The end of last week, I was in contact with HSEM Minnesota. Everything had been pulled together and went to the governor for his approval the end of last week. We have not heard yet on that, but it is in the governor's hands now for the reimbursement request.
I seem to recall a pretty good percentage that we all, if he passes it, that we'll qualify for.
Yeah, for Steele County, it was a little bit over $900,000 for the entire county. Majority of that was the city of Owatonna, and it's a 75% reimbursement on that, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brent to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have 2 ordinances tonight. The first is 3.2.1, the second final reading for proposed ordinance 25-10, salary adjustment to elected officials, and I will go to City Administrator Tuma for that. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. This is our second reading of the salary adjustment. We had our first hearing on the September 2nd. There has been no changes from that date, so.
Thank you. Nate.
I would say given the unanticipated significant increase in the levy request, I would say I cannot support an increase in council salary at this time. It's probably not the right time to do that.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Dave?
Disagree. I think the increase in compensation is well deserved.
Thank you. I will also be voting no on this. I just feel that with what we're looking at in regards to levy and everything else, it's prudent to us to be leaders, and in my opinion, I feel we're doing that by staying status quo. With that, I look for a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
This is a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeanette, let's have a roll call, this is an ordinance.
Councilmember Dodson.
Nay.
Councilmember Burbank.
A nay vote is for.
Your aye.
I'm aye.
Bogey,
Nay.
McKeon,
Nay.
Stenby,
Aye.
Voss,
Aye.
Rainey.
Nay.
We have a 3-4 vote, it failed.
Thank you. Next up tonight is the second reading on 3.2.2, the proposed ordinance 25-11, update code section 113, alcoholic beverages, hours for Sunday sales, and once again, City Administrator Tuma.
Yeah, thank you, President Rainey. This is, again, the second reading to this. We held the first reading on September 2nd. There's been no changes from the first reading.
Thank you. Any questions on this?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don. This is an ordinance, so we will need a roll call vote.
Councilmember Dodson,
Aye.
Burbank,
Aye.
Bogey,
Aye.
McKeon,
Aye.
Stenby,
Aye.
Voss,
Aye.
and Rainey.
Aye.
And that was a 7-0 approving.
Thank you. We have 6 resolutions tonight. The first is 3.3.1, Resolution 52-25, proposed 2026 city budget and levy. With that, we go back to John.
Thank you. Yes, this tonight is setting our preliminary levy for the 2026 budget. I will turn it over to our Director of Finance, Emily Burns, but if I could just mention before we get into it, that the percentage of the levy that is in front of the council tonight really supports and moves the efforts towards moving for our safety centers. And so with that, and it also adds, holds to our commitment to our staff contracts that we're signing, our 3-year contracts. So that's the majority of it, but I'll turn it over to Emily Burns, our Finance Director, to run through it.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council. As City Administrator Jenna mentioned, we are requesting a 13% levy increase for our 2026 proposed levy. That accounts for approximately 74% of the personnel expenses. As mentioned, the personnel increases were approved last year during this time. And then at the same time, we are also trying to manage the higher cost of goods and services and plan, like Administrator Tuma said, the new public safety facilities. Every year in September, we must set a proposed levy and budget to comply with the county auditor's deadline of September 30th. So with that, staff asked approval of Resolution 52-25 for the proposed city levy and budget for 2026.
Thank you. Any questions for Emily on this? We did have a study session this evening that went over the proposed budget and levy. So there was much discussion about an hour ago. And so our questions were answered then. With no questions, I would look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dan, any further discussion? Nate?
I would say that, there again, this was a bit of a surprise to all of us. I appreciate the work staff did. In a short time, trying to make this as palatable as possible. While I do think Mr. Stenby has some great ideas, I think we have some opportunities that we just haven't explored yet. And I want to do that, so with that being said, I'm going to vote no.
Thank you. Don?
I would just like to say, what Brent and Nate have said is kind of where I'm at too. It's just too quick, too fast. If we could slow it down a little bit and look at some of the things, I think that would be very helpful.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just say I agree with Mr. Dodson and Mr. McCann, a 13% levy this for this evening.
Okay, thank you. You had a comment?
I would,
Oh,
Busy 3 months,
yeah.
got 3 months to get after it.
It's been an interesting week to be on council this week. I feel like I've been riding a roller coaster. But I appreciated all the comments earlier. I think For the moment now, though, we need to establish this, get this passed, and get back to work at finding some more savings. And so we'll have a lot more information over the next month from some of our help that we have working with us, and we will work this out and make it work.
Thank you. And for myself, in the study session, Mr. Svenby, Mr. McCann brought up some good points. It's two different ways of looking how this levy is going to work. I will support the 13 with the understanding that we are going to look at everything until the vote on December 16th and figure out what is the best way to have our levy set for 2027 for the citizens of Owatonna. 26, sorry. I'm a year ahead. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Dodson,
Nay.
Burbank,
Aye.
Oki,
Aye.
McCann,
Nay.
Svenby,
Nay.
Boss,
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
We have a vote of 43 in favor.
Thank you. So our initial is 13, and we cannot go higher, we absolutely can't go lower. Thank you. Next up tonight is 3.3.2, Resolution 53-25, proposed 2026 Housing and Redevelopment Authority levy and budget. And with that, we go to Emily Burns.
Thank you. As you are aware, the HRA is considered a special taxing district, and its levy is adopted separately from the city levy. And it also has to be to the county auditor by September 30th. So with that, we are proposing an increase of $230,000 for the 2026 HRA budget. And staff recommends approval of resolution 53-25.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Nate?
I just want to comment again, so specifically with the budget, HRA, EDA, those are areas I would like to forego and increase this year. Not to say that it was right or wrong back then, but we went a lot of years where that levy stayed the same. And we have consistently grown that levy, and I think this might be a year to forego that.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? I will say we do have a study session coming up in October on this part of the levy. So once again, we can vote on this tonight with the understanding it cannot go higher, but it absolutely can go lower. With that, I'd look for a motion to approve.
I would ask for one clarification here.
Yes.
If we
Mr.
go
Voss.
for this, does this set this in the budget as is?
This is preliminary also.
Okay, good, thank you.
This is another December 16th.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Dan to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A roll call vote again, please.
Councilmember Dodson,
Nay.
Burbank,
Aye.
Oki,
Aye.
McCann,
Nay.
Svenby,
Nay.
Boss,
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
We had a vote of 3 to 4, it passed.
Thank you. Next resolution tonight is 3.3.3, Resolution 54-25, declare cost to be assessed for weed nuisance complaint. And we go to Fire Chief Ed Hoffman. Good evening.
Good evening, thank you, President Rainey and Council. So the first resolution here, 54-25, is declare the cost to be assessed for the weed and nuisance compliance. As you know, the Owatonna Fire Department has the responsibility of enforcing our weed and long grass ordinances. When we enforce it, we send a letter to the property owner. If they don't comply, we hire a contractor to take care of it, and then we invoice the property owner. If they don't pay, it goes on this list, and we ask for it to be assessed to the property owner there. So the total cost of unpaid fees this year is $5,483.30. The impact, once this is assessed, it's basically a reimbursement, so it nets out to zero for the city. So staff recommends approval of this.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the chief?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Nate to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug, any further discussion? Dan?
The $5,400 covers exactly what the contractor charged us.
It's the contractor fee, and then there's a small administrative fee on that also, just for our time to send out the invoices and that.
Okay, I would like to investigate making that a large fee. We have so many ordinances in the city right now that have no teeth in them, whether it's weeds, whether it's junk cars, whether it's garbage on property. I think we have to start making this painful, at least pay for our guy that we hired when we hire a part-time person. Absolutely. Let's not put up with this in our city. We don't need it.
Thank you for those comments, and we are looking at those right now on some fees. Actually meeting with the administrator earlier today to get it on a work session, to bring back some proposals later this year.
What's that? Any other discussion? That I look for a motion to approve. Motion by Don to approve, do I have a second? I'm sorry.
You have a motion from Dodson, second by Bokey.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, thank you. And Ed, you've got the next one as well, 3.3.4, the resolution to set the date for the public hearing, 55-25.
Yes, so this is a follow-up, so that was declaring the costs that we just did. This next one is to set a date of the public hearing for October 21st, the council meeting, public hearing for those costs before we send them to the county. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, any questions on this?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second? Second, motion by Doug, second by Brent, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 3.3.5 resolution is 56-25 FAA grant agreement for the airport taxi lane and parking lot reconstruction project. And with that, we go to Community Development Director Troy Klecker. Good evening.
All right, thank you. This is a project we have in our CIP for this year. It's some pavement repairs to the airport taxiway and redoing the front parking lot out front. We have gone through the approving the project, approving the bid, and submitting grants. The bid is contingent on receiving FAA and state grants for this. This is the federal grant portion of it for $541,747. So we need to officially accept this and sign the documents, send it in. Then we will get the state portion of it, which would be the $49,566,000. That will be presented at the next council meeting. And if those are both approved, then we can move ahead with our project. And you're probably asking, okay, it's October. Are we able to get this completed here before the end of the year? We had talked to the contractor, Ulan Brothers, that got the bid for this project. They still plan, it's about a 20-day project. And so they still think they can get it done this year. If weather prevents them from doing that, they said they would honor the bid numbers that they gave us if they had to do it in the spring. So what's unfortunate about this process is the FAA, we don't get these grant contracts until late in the season. If you remember, we had to do our roof for our dome hanger in December of last year. So we will try to get this done here yet this year. If not, it'll be in the spring, but under the same prices that were awarded before. So staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy on this? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Don to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Final resolution tonight is 3.3.6, resolution 57-25. It's a purchase agreement for 515 West Bridge Street from the school district. And we will once again go to City Administrator Tillman for that.
Yeah, thank you. I have a really good deal too, but I don't have as good as Troy. So if I can share a little background on this purchase, it's a opportunity for us as we've been working on, the staff and the council has been working on a safety center, how to move forward with building and then constructing those, doing them both at the same time. We needed to remove the police department from their location to be able to do these two buildings if they move forward together. And with that, we've been working for several years on this project, and the school district had a vacant building on Bridge Street and has been working with us graciously to find out if it would work for our law enforcement to go in the swing space as we call it. And to do that, it's about the same square footage as what the PD uses right now, so it's really it's about as ideal of a space as you can get to. With that, we have come to an agreement with $260,000 for purchase price of this building. The school district still needs to approve it at their September 22nd, and with that, then we would close on it around September 30th, and then prepare that building. If the projects continue to move forward, we would look to move into that sometime in the spring, do some safety components to it to set it up for our police department, and then have our PD move into it this spring so we could start the construction.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Dan to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have two miscellaneous items tonight. First one is 3.4.1, lease agreement with 115 Rose Street East and with the school district, and we will go back to Troy Klecker for that.
All right, staff has been working with the school district, the Chamber of Commerce, the Owatonna Area Business Development Center, and the public utilities, and trying to create a retail incubator at the Rose Street Center. We had previously had a study session with council a few weeks back here. The concept would be for the Owatonna Business Development Center to run the facility with the entrepreneur classes and business consulting, and then also have a maker space and a welcome center in that facility. And then the retail portion of that would be managed by the Main Street program and the Main Street director. And the retail portion would include one area within the building where we would have retail booths inside. We would also have 10 by 12 retail shops in the parking lot. And the goal is to provide the necessary assistance to help a retail business start from an idea, get the consulting within the facility from the Business Development Center, be able to start out in a booth, initially graduate to a retail shop, the 10 by 12 shop, and then eventually into one of our storefronts downtown. So it's really taking it from an idea and making it come to reality with a storefront retail store. The school district would continue owning the building, and at least the facility would be to the city under the direction of the EDA. The school district would retain usage of the two garages there along the alley on the south side. And because the city would own it, it does qualify for contributed services, which is a very key point in making this all financially work. And so we did work with public utilities on that portion of it. So we, the city, would be sort of the middle man in this. We would then enter into a sublease, which is the next agenda item with Owatonna Area Business Development Center. The lease is for 1 year and would be renewable annually for 1 year terms unless otherwise terminated. The EDA did approve this at their last meeting. And budget impacts, there's no anticipated budget cost to the city. The lease agreement states that the city is responsible for maintenance of the building and any property taxes. However, those expenses would be passed on to the business development center, with the sublease. So, they would be taking care of those. So staff would recommend approval of this lease agreement with the Owatonna School District.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy? Nate?
Question here on last time, can you clarify how the property tax liability is handled when for-profit businesses work?
So it does look like they would have property taxes, and that would be paid for from the tenant, the business development center. They factor that into their performance.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions? I've got one. Troy, is that zoned properly for what's gonna go in there?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
downtown business district, and so, all that retail sales and office space is permitted.
Okay.
They would need to go, the one piece that they, process that will need to go through is a conditional use permit, to have the outdoor retail, buildings in that parking lot. We'll have multiple buildings, so we would, need to go through a plan unit development zoning approval here, and that will probably be started, within the month here. If approved by.
So even with that conditional use not approved, can we still have the language in there about the 10 by 12 shops in the parking lot?
Yes, I think we can. There's the process, really is about meeting, some code requirements. A conditional use permit is permitted, with conditions. So we'll need to go through the process to see if there's any conditions that need to be put on the property for those retail portions.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Troy? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve. Motion by Don to approve, though, second.
Second.
Second by Doug. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Final thing tonight is for miscellaneous is 3.4.2 sublease agreement for 115 Rose Street and the Owatonna Area Business Development Center, and back to Troy.
All right, so this is the sublease then with the Owatonna Area Business Development Center. This was drafted by our city attorney, Mark Walbrand. Again, the school district, would remain owners of it, and actually the lease agreement with the city was negotiated with the Business Development Center, being part of that conversation. So, they do plan on making some improvements, to the facility, and they're working on, the design of those and how to pay for those. But again, that will be at their own expense. They would be responsible for any costs associated with occupying the property. So again, we're not anticipating any costs by the city, so staff would recommend approval of the sublease with Owatonna Area Business Development Center.
Thank you. Questions for Troy on this? Hearing none, I'd look for a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second? Second. Second by Don, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have one personnel policy revision tonight, 3.5, chapter 8.4, earned sick and safe leave, and with that, we go to Emily Paymer. Good evening.
Thank you. The HR team reviews personnel policies on a quarterly basis, and so this evening I have a 3 update for you. It is just a minor adjustment to chapter 8.4, earned sick and safe leave, to comply with the new state legislative requirements. The only change is simply that the employer can request documentation after 2 days rather than 3 days of an absence. There is no budget impact from the proposed policy changes, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Emily? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brent to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're now up to staff reports. Tonight we have Deanna Shealy, our communications manager. Good evening.
Turn the mic on.
Turn the mic on.
Jackson, can you turn it up? There we go. Okay, communications sits in the Administrative Services Department. And I just want to give you an update on kind of our big rocks that we're working on. We'll touch on communications effectiveness because that's always a part of what we do, is to consider, is what we're doing working? We'll talk about crisis communications, our ongoing grant implementation, and some upcoming projects. So it sits in the priority of our neighbors, of our 5 strategic priorities. Communication supports that one. When I give you updates, I always fill you in on where we're at with kind of garnering support and following for our 3 primary channels that we own. Our city newsletters, our videos, and our news releases are all gaining traction. I repeated this survey about the Owatonna Update e-newsletter, and that's a weekly newsletter that anyone can subscribe to receive. And here are some highlights. You'll see your news is mentioned. In the content most desired, you tied for second. It was a 3-way tie. Economic development activities, your actions that you take, and street construction projects. Right up there with city project updates were the most content most desired. And these were some of the quotes that the survey respondents added. So it does validate that this is a viable channel. Community events is another thing we measure the effectiveness of. We did all five of the Downtown Thursdays events, and we measured about 2,000, and that's a rough guess. We did the clicker, but we did kind of guess too, and we had really good attendance at our booth this year. Steele County Free Fair, we couldn't even take a guess at that one. Safety Camp, we had over 200 third graders that came to that event this year, which is kind of on par with other years. Night to Unite, we touched people through 32 block parties. And the library's 125th celebration events that have been happening all year long, they counted over 2,000 people that they've interacted with. Rec on the Go is Park and Rec's program, roughly about 450 folks participating in those. And communications role in these events, first of all, it touches all departments. So there are folks in all departments helping with these. We, of course, communicate to promote attendance at the events, and then we do recaps of the events too through our communication channels. We create materials and displays to have at the events, and of course, coordinate the logistics. And I think you'll see some familiar faces in those pictures. Social media, let's see how we're doing there. We've got now over 4,000 followers, and this is just on our primary Facebook page. We actually have like 12 different Facebook pages. A lot of the departments have their own. And these stats are just on the City of Owatonna primary page. Our performance, this is just a snapshot in time from August 12th to September 8th. We had over 400,000 views on just this one page. And this is a snapshot in time from January 1 to September 9th. And we've had over almost 2 million views on just this one page. This is a little peek at some of the other pages. So this metric is the River Springs Water Park page. This post alone touched over 20,000 with views. Fire Department, 52,000. Public Works, 23,000. What's that one? Park and Rec, 22. Park and Rec, it's almost 60,000. And this was the big winner here. The PD posted this post, and we reached over 100,000 people just with this post alone. So it really does show the effectiveness of this communication channel. Next, I wanted to touch on crisis communications and give you a little recap from our storm response July 28th. As you all know, we have a crisis communication plan. You approved it in December of 2023. This specific storm response gave us an opportunity to take that plan off the shelf, do a save as, and really see it in action, and then make some updates to, again, in a spirit of continuous improvement, continue to think about what works in the moment and make adjustments. In that storm response, we used several of our communication channels. And here's just a little glimpse at some of the Facebook posts and the responses we got there. Through this one, which was the River Springs Water Park, they were the first ones to post on this event, over 50,000 views. This one got almost 30,000. Public Works, another 38,000, 26,000, 28,000. Really, we were all over Facebook, and it worked. We had people telling us what were the next topics we should address. So it really was effective and very, very interactive. And again, in the spirit of continuous improvement, we updated the crisis communication plan, and we also looked into a new tool that we're gonna look at using as needed in the future. It's a website module we've not used in the past where we can post a test alert like that one shown. We're still working on implementing the brand, and so here are some recent examples. Some of them very recent, and some of them still in the works of how we're trying to figure out how does that brand really apply to all of these different mediums. Campaign graphics, badges, all sorts of things. And finally, I'll end with the current and upcoming projects that are kind of in the moment. So yes, we're already looking at our spring, summer community and activity guide, and that's been transformed from just a park and rec guide to content about the whole city. The State of the City address also right around the corner, so that'll launch in January. Working on a Forever Chemicals campaign with Public Works and the wastewater treatment plant. Sign ordinance enforcement campaign, working mostly with community development on that, but it really touches all departments. And of course, the expansion of the wastewater treatment facility. So we've got a ribbon cutting event coming up and the conclusion of that project, which will also bring some project updates in the communications aspect. Continuing to work on the long-range asset plan, we knocked off council chambers, we knocked off Mural Hall, and the next projects coming up also are hot on the communications list of things to take care of. And of course, internal communications is also always at the forefront. And I don't do this work alone. This requires help from all the departments, the directors, the communications task force members who sit in every single department and harvest content and have their radar up and help me track down things and take pictures. And so it really is a joint effort. So with that, if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
We're now up to public comment. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. Please approach the microphone, sign in, and state your name and address for the record after being acknowledged by the council president. Speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to deliver their comments. Council Vice President Voss will be timing and holding up one hand after 1 minute 45 seconds to notify the speaker they have 15 seconds to complete their comment. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments. The council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. With that, we will open up the public comments portion.
Hi, my name's Gail Jorgensen. I live at 249 East Main Street, corner of Grove and Main. You know, the house with all the no trespassing signs, and the people don't seem to have any reading comprehension. So with that, I'm also doing a big history project on the house. I have skimmed the newspapers here in town from the 1860s, right now I'm up to, 1915 or so. And it's interesting to see the town grow. It's interesting to see how you all, your predecessors, reacted to things, how the roads grew, how the women suffragette movement happened, and so now we have all these women working in the city, and how things like, a case of bananas would come in and they'd have a tarantula and the whole town would gather around, about how the city council in the 1870s had made a decision about animals roaming around, like horses and cows, and make an ordinance and decide what they wanted to include and what not to. And they said in this paper article that, well, we'll expand it later. And I'm telling you, this is the time to expand it later. This is the later. I had the experience, lucky me, of having a neighbor who is probably big in the reptile world, you know, in the community, be very careless with his animal. And it was gone from his care for several days. And he didn't let the community know. He let me know several days later when it went under. So, to wrap it up, I would like you to look at ordinance, licensing, permits about exotic animals. Because this affects children, the elderly, the community, police and fire.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Matt Sennett, 2519 Stony Creek Drive, here to talk about the East Side Corridor project, specifically data request.
Good evening, Matt.
Good evening. Our group is calling for the completion of all outstanding data requests. Counted them tonight, there's around 10. Only one has been fulfilled. However, we have noticed that significant data is missing from a past council member who was our East Side Corridor's most fervent supporter, which we find very interesting. Been 9 months and counting since our data requests. So we're looking for forward actually to the most recent change that has happened over the data practices fulfillment area. We think that's a positive change. And we also have seen some data released most recently, so we're very hopeful that we will be able to release that information to the public as soon as we get that in the coming weeks. So thank you.
Thank you. Thought you were gonna give us a cross-country update.
Another time.
Okay.
Good evening, Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive.
Good evening, Melissa.
Tonight's agenda included a resolution for the purchase of land. I hope this resolution is permanently preserved in public data, because by law, it must be. Resolutions and minutes are not optional, they are permanent records. That's why residents were alarmed when we requested data from the city on the 2018 parcel purchase land, now tied to the East Side Corridor. The official response was, no resolution exists, no emails, no purchase documents, no supporting records, except one meeting minute comment now found today. Yet Minnesota law requires these records to be created and permanently preserved. So I have to ask, was this purchase not properly recorded? Were the records destroyed, or were they being withheld? None of those answers are acceptable. And this isn't the only example. A 2004 resolution that was referenced in county data, city data, and by a city council member. Yet when we asked for it, the city again said the requested data does not exist. This points to a larger pattern. Since January, East Side Corridor residents have submitted about 10 data requests. Only one has been fully fulfilled. At the last meeting, we were told IT spends a couple hours each week on requests. So why has it taken 9 months to complete just one? Meanwhile, we received fee notices at least 5 times, despite Minnesota Statute 13.03 clearly prohibiting charges to inspect public data. These are serious problems. Permanent records cannot simply disappear. Illegal fees and denials of data violates the Minnesota Government Data Practices Act and breaks public trust. The community should not have to chase records if we told they don't exist, or play who has the truth between the city and the county. We should be able to rely on our officials to keep and provide records as the law requires. So tonight I'm asking you 2 things. 1, demand answers about what happened to the 2018 purchase records and the 2004 resolution. And 2, commit to formal training for the council and staff on Minnesota open meeting law and Government Data Practices Act. Residents deserve compliance and they deserve trust in their government. Thank you.
Jones, 995 Ridge Road.
Evening, Gary.
Good evening. I assume that most of you have heard of artificial intelligence, or AI. If you're not familiar with it, you will be 3 years from now. It helps doctors do surgeries, college students do research papers, and lawyers put together facts for different cases. AI reaches out into millions of platforms, grabs the best and most current data pertaining to a topic that is introduced by a user. It's neither pro-hunting nor anti-hunting, just like me. It presents only facts as its final analysis. So I asked AI, is an archery deer hunt a good idea in a small, high-foot traffic city park surrounded by homes with a disc golf course? The answer was provided to me by AI. An archery deer hunt is a very poor idea in a small, high-traffic city park with a disc golf course due to extreme safety risks, legal restrictions, ethical concerns. Combining archery hunting with public recreation in a confined urban space creates unacceptable hazards to park users and nearby residents. AI goes on to give the following reasons. Stray arrows and overpenetration. Archery hunting is safer than firearm, but a missed or deflected arrow could travel a large distance and hurt someone. High foot traffic. Disc golfers, families, and other park visitors use city parks as an active hunt would put these people in immediate danger. Conflicts with disc golf. Players are often required to navigate through wooded areas. That brings them together with hunters. Poor visibility. Urban parks have terrain with limited sight lines and blind spots. Hunters and recreational users may not see each other. And risk to hunters. Hunters are also at risk with the presence of unaware members of the public, which could create an accident. Discouraging park use. A hunt would alienate disc golfers and outdoor enthusiasts who rely on the parks for recreation. Many disc golfers may prefer courses that do not have active hunts. Please remember that the same AI that grabbed these facts for me is the same AI that will be used by an attorney after a wrongful death suit. I would not expect much good news. Please get this out of Mineral Springs, hunt in Creasel, Nass, Hammond, and get out of Mineral Springs. You'll get your deer in the other 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Hi, Randy Gladden, and I live at 1905 Burn Drive, and I'm here just because, I'm gonna give this to you, I received a power of attorney for my mother-in-law who passed away back in 2021. You were talking earlier about the obnoxious weeds and grass. As far as the small fee that I've mentioned, I've got one sitting in front of me here. $76, 50-cent mowing charge, $75 administrative fee. To me, that's already got some teeth to it, but my issue with this is, Bonnie sent me a warning letter, okay? The warning letter went to her house, which we haven't collected mail from for years. Everybody knows that we just live on the south side of town, we're not yet. Went back to her, non-forwardable. She was able to find me to send me the bill, but she never sent me a warning letter. So now I'm looking at, for her estate, a bill for $151.50 that says, if you don't pay it, we're gonna put it on your taxes. There's gotta be a way for Bonnie, in this case, to know that we received it. If you're gonna send warning letters like that out, they gotta be sent out certified or something. Otherwise, if this went back to her and she never sent me one to my address, like I say, South End Town, 1905 Lynn Drive, you can't expect me to have to pay this. If I had seen a warning letter, I would've paid it. Or I wouldn't have paid it. I'd have went up and mowed the yard. Her brother Todd, my mother-in-law's son Todd is who was responsible for the yard. If you look at the pictures, the front yard was mowed, the backyard wasn't. Yes, he was negligible for that. But Bonnie was as negligible for not giving me the warning letter.
Thank
So
you.
I think that's $151, it should go back off your 5,300 or whatever it was for fees.
Anyone else this evening? Seeing no one else coming up, we will now go to the council comment, general information. And tonight, we will start with Councilmember Dotson.
All right, I have a couple things tonight. Number one, I would like to congratulate Mia Armstrong and Max Lemke on their homecoming king queen status. Max is a wildlife youngling, so congratulations to them. I also would like us to consider adding a minute to public comment. 3 minutes is a very typical public comment period. We have people getting buzzed pretty much every meeting, so I would like to add a minute to that. So I'd like us to consider that.
Thank you.
That's it.
Councilmember Burbank.
I would concur with the 3-minute time limit and nothing else.
Thank you, Councilmember Burbank. Bokey. Please.
A couple of things. We've talked about some pretty big numbers tonight. I'm hoping that we can all get less than that. We've set a ceiling, we can't go higher than that. One ceiling that I would just wonder about is the HRA. You know, that program is in charge of some of our most vulnerable citizens. You know, they deal with the housing choice voucher program, the subsidized general occupancy, subsidized senior housing. They handle loans and grants for single-family homes, for repair. Those folks deal with folks that a family of four can apply if they're under a maximum income of $57,000. So we're really talking about some vulnerable citizens. If there's a place to cut, which I'm sure there will be, I hope it's not with HRA. I hope we can get together and that increase is not that much and we're dealing with some of our most vulnerable folks. Nothing else.
Thank you. Councilmember McCann.
The only comment I would have is happy birthday to Ian Wilkie.
Oh, really?
Yes. I did get a chance to see his hockey picture and I missed the mustache.
Thank you. Councilmember Spenby.
Just echo happy birthday to Mr. Wilkie, and I also would agree with other comments. We need a lot of
Councilmember Voss.
Yes, I just take a minute here to thank City Engineer Murphy and our wastewater treatment facility manager, Andrew Fisher. We had a great tour tonight. It's really quite amazing. I hope everybody someday can get a chance to see it. I don't know if there'll be tours or not, but boy, you don't realize that's going on in this town. I guess most people would have no idea that even exists, and it's pretty impressive. So, well done, thank you.
Andy said there's an open house coming up. What? He was expecting to be like an open house at the wastewater?
We're gonna have a grand opening in the spring, so that's where we're.
Anything else, Doug?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
Mayor Jessup.
Happy birthday, Bo. I had the chance to attend that Hunter Alexander Frank Memorial fundraiser this Saturday, and it was a really neat event in memory of an Owatonna kid who lost his life serving in the military. You know, we all think of Harley riders as a rough, tough group of people, but the group of 75 motorcycle riders that showed up, gave their time, gave their money to do something in memory of a fallen soldier. That's the rough, tough group that you're dealing with giant hearts of gold. So it was a great event, a neat opportunity to be a part of it, and I was very thankful to be there.
Well said. City Administrator Kilman.
I just have one comment to the public that staff are working on cleaning up our boulevards and our right-of-ways, so with a lot of step-in signs that are out there. So just wanting folks to know that if you've got some step-in signs in the boulevard or in the right-of-way area, if you can move those back on private property or remove them. The city is doing a 3-week campaign on education, on educating the residents on what's where it can be and where it can't. And then after that, staff will work on removing them, and so we do want people to try to police this themselves. And then if they do have questions, if they're where the right of way is, or if their sign is in violation, they can call City Hall, we can help them understand that. We just wanna let people know that we will be working towards hitting those boulevards up.
Thank you. For me, we've got a big week this week. We've got homecoming all week long, the parade on Friday. What I would ask is parents, be aware where your kids are. If there's candy being thrown out, the cars are still moving. They may be moving slow, but they are still moving. Keep your kids back. We also have a OHS Hall of Fame on Friday night, of which Old Man Bulkey is a member of that, so I wish Dan a happy birthday as well. And that is all I have for tonight. So the last agenda item this evening is a meeting with the city's consultant to discuss the valuation of property necessary for temporary permanent easements for the 18th Street project. The need for absolute confidentiality of discussions between the council and the city's consultant is necessary to consider confidential or protected non-public appraisal data, to consider offers or counteroffers for such property, and available legal options to avoid litigation and review possible legal remedies. This meeting will be closed pursuant to Minnesota statute section 13D-05 subdivision 3C 2 and 3. With that, I will now entertain a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Dan to close. Do I have a second? Second by Brent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So the time is now 8:02, I'm sorry. The city council will now go into closed session in city chambers, so we would ask that the general public please exit.